the vibe here.
You ready?
Hang on a second. It's beginning to look a lot like
Christmas.
Good Dog official Christmas tree is in the house.
It's in the house.
Just made a little Christmas tree trip.
Mm-hmm.
In between training dogs, we decided to run out and do a little. Should I scoot over a little bit?
Yeah.
So
Scoot.
Scoot. That's a pretty cute tree, right?
Yeah,
nice.
It's a great tree.
Thanks.
I got one too.
Yeah. We went small, went dainty. Where am I supposed to look again? Over there? Right.
Just here.
Okay. I always look over here and I'm like, where are you looking, dude?
All right.
Hey, everybody. Looking the wrong direction. Hey, everybody. It's Sean with the Good Dog. And it is the Good Dog's Q&A Saturday once again. Ding. Sean and Laura, the lovely Laura Morgan. And we've only got a handful of questions this week. I assume either we are going down in flames and nobody cares about us anymore, or it was Thanksgiving week and people had other stuff going on besides asking dog questions. So let's hope it's the latter and not the former, because then I'll have to start looking for new work. Yep. So just moving right on into it. What do you got?
Right into it. So we've got question number 1.
Yes.
Michaela Frank,
Mm-hmm.
or Michaela. Yeah, Michaela. Michaela Frank asks, "Hi, Sean and Laura. I have a male German Shepherd puppy, or GSP. GSP.
German short-haired pointer.
Oh. I was hoping it was German Shepherd.
She's got a German Shepherd puppy.
Called Manny.
That'll go on your blooper reel.
Okay. German short-haired pointer called Manny. He's about 6 years old. Just like Manny.
Like this guy over here.
He whines, barks, and chews on the crate while I'm out with my female dog. He forced his way out of a regular wire crate and broke a canine in the process. The canine had to be extracted, and now he's in a heavy-duty zinger crate and always has a marrow bone to chew on while in there, but he still goes crazy and chews on the crate when I leave with my other dog. If left out of the crate, he gets destructive or pees in the house. Even though he can't escape the zinger crate, I'm worried about more damage to his teeth. I don't even have to leave the house with the other dog. Just crating him upstairs and working with the female downstairs sets him off. He's e-collar and prong collar trained and has made huge progress on dog aggression and obedience with the help of an awesome professional trainer, but I know you guys have special crate training protocols, so I was wondering what you would be doing in our case. I also know being in the crate is not really a problem. The actual issue is him knowing I'm out with the other dog and wanting to be with us. How do I create a calm state of mind in which he can just relax in the crate and not go berserk because he wants to be out working with me too? Thanks.
Well, good that you've got. I mean, really crappy about your dog breaking his tooth. That stinks. That's no fun. Speaking of broken teeth, Hercules. He's only got like two in his head. Show him. Look at that. Show him no teeth. Sorry. But it's great that you got a zinger crate, because those are the real deal, and those will definitely hold him. So I'd be looking. Hi. I'd be looking at trying to really get state of mind straight in other contexts, not just in the crate. So it's awesome that my co-pilot back here.
You look so proud.
Right. I'm on Q&A Saturday. Guest starring Hercules. This is Hercules, by the way, if anybody doesn't know. Hi, Herc. Hi, Herc. Okay, so back to work. So I'd be looking for state of mind work everywhere. So when we get dogs that give us that kind of frantic stuff or anything like that, in any situation, typically there's spots where that stuff's coming up as well. And so you've got your dog prong and e-collar trained, which is awesome. So it means you have a lot of tools and options at your disposal. I'd be curious, like, what kind of place command work can your dog do while you're working the other dog? And I would start building that tolerance, that being able to tolerate the other dog being not right next to the other dog, and that the other dog's engaging with you, and that your GSP, not puppy, is not allowed to engage with you. So you can start really small like that. I would be looking for absolutely 1000% bomb-proof place command That was snoring. Sorry guys, place falling apart today. Hey. Dogs are taking over. I'd be looking for like 1,000% solid place command with like the most challenging of distractions, which are you working, training, playing with the other dog. The GSP in a room without the door shut, having to be in place, maybe start somewhere close and then like start moving rooms further and further. You want to really like build up that tolerance and build up that impulse control, especially when you're able to interact and cultivate it rather than the dog just being in the crate. So that would be my first thing is like when we go for state of mind stuff, that's what we start looking for is just be in the spot. So a couple things. So come to me when I call you, a non-negotiable. Be in the spot until I tell you otherwise, non-negotiable. And then the world's going to go on around you, and it's not really any of your business what's going on around you. Your job is just to stay put. So I would be focused heavy duty on that. And even if your dog like stays in place pretty decently, if you haven't really upped the ante with your other dog that he wants to be around, then you've got a lot of work that you could be doing that could really help you guys out. So what I would picture is your dog in place, the GSP, and then like you playing tug or something else with the other dog like across the room, and he's got to learn to tolerate that. He's got to learn to handle it. Those kind of things will give you leverage for crate stuff. So that's one aspect of it, just like an overall state of mind, building up impulse control and his tolerance of space being separate from you guys, and then also not being able to engage with you and the other dog. And then I would do some work with the actual crate. You can crate him with the crate door open and have him be in a down state in the crate. And then you could leave the room with the other dog, and you could correct him for coming out of the crate. So you could have some fun with that and kind of create some challenges with that. You guys just being out of eyesight, something, I don't know what your house looks like, but something like that. So crate door open, keep your behind in there, don't come out. If you do, correct with the e-collar and make sure that you're using levels that are high enough for your dog to care about, because he's probably in a pretty heightened state. So you might need higher levels in order to override that heightened state and get him to relax. So it's a hard thing for a lot of people to wrap their heads around, but oftentimes when your dog's in a heightened state, more sudden, sharper pressure, whether it's from a prong collar or an e-collar, something like that, can oftentimes break the dog out of that space and get him to be able to relax and kind of go into a better space. So that's another thing I would do. Open crate, challenging him to stay in there in a down state while you're playing around with your other dog or just moving around the house or anything that you think you know best, anything would be challenging. And then have him in the crate and then pretend, set up, if you want to set up a camera or anything like that, what are they called, baby monitors, something like that, or even FaceTime on your phone, something like that, and then leave the room with the crate door shut, and then you can actually you can correct with the e-collar if you can watch him, right? So you could be like this, you could be out of the room, you could be out in the you can't see the phone, Sam, you can't see that, I gotta make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So you could be like this, e-collar in hand, boom, look at this, all my props are coming in. All right, so this is you watching your dog. Okay, he's starting to get up. Oh, he's starting to get a little bit, nervy and like whining. Yeah, anything like I would correct for that right there. And some people might think, well, you're correcting for panting or whining. Yeah, that's the beginning of the process. So you want to go after the smallest emanation of the problem. So if I've got my dog in the crate, I know he's got big problems with separation with the other dog and blah, blah, blah. Watching him, as soon as I see the smallest little bit, pop. And then I'm looking for pop means just a quick tap on the e-collar. And what I'm looking for is a state change, right? I'm not looking for him just to be like this. I'm looking for him to relax a little bit. So if he just stops, then you got to sit and wait and see what his next choice is. Does he relax? Or does he continue to escalate? If he continues to escalate, then you need to get back on the collar and calm him down. So if you do that work where you've got him in the crate and you're monitoring him and you do all this other state of mind work that we were talking about, and then you also inhibit him being able to escalate in the crate, you should have a very good shot at knocking this out and teaching him a new way of being in the crate. So, but typically dogs that are, and this is not saying that you fall into that typical category, but typically dogs that are doing that kind of stuff in the crate have not got enough state of mind foundation work happening. They're being impulsive, bratty, or pushy, or excited, and not in the good way, excited in other contexts. So I would be like really sleuthy about it, if that's a word. Be a sleuth and really look for any other moments where you get the slightest, teeniest little flavor of that same kind of attitude of impulsivity and lack of self-control and panic or any of that stuff, and go after it in other contexts and try and address it. So that would be, that's exactly what we would do. So, you know, of course there's nuance and this and that as far as like problem solving and when to correct and when not to, but hopefully I gave you a decent kind of blueprint to run with. Thanks. What was his name?
That was Michaela.
Michaela. Thanks, Michaela. And let us know, Michaela. Let us know how it goes.
Okay, question number 2.
Yes.
Hercules.
Hercules.
This is from Artem.
Artem's he's like our dude. He's the go-to dude.
He's our guy.
He's always there.
Hello, Sean and Laura.
Is he in Ukraine?
I don't know.
Artem, you got to let us know where you are. I think you're in Ukraine. I think so. Pretty cool.
Hello, Sean and Laura. Question about dog owners.
Yeah.
How, when you're working with owners, what are you doing to usually switch them from no rules, no leadership, no guidance, too much unearned affection, and all this other stuff that they've tend to practice for years with their dog, to structure, discipline, rules, boundaries, love in the right moment, and all the other stuff of human-dog relationships philosophy that you use and share with us? How do you make them change themselves? Because sometimes it's the most hard part of dog rehab. The owners change.
You
Big
said
challenge.
it, brother. What we do is we have another one of these. It's the boss model. It's bigger. It goes higher, and we use that for the owners. And we have a baby cam. We watch them and we correct them and make sure they're behaving themselves. No, this is really like, Artem, to me, this is every bit as much the art form of successful dog training as it is reading dogs well and knowing how to actually use tools and create the state of mind changes and do all the fancy great stuff with dogs. This is just as big of a component of being a successful dog trainer as all that other dog stuff. I don't think enough people put enough emphasis on it, so it's pretty awesome that you're asking that question, because it tells me that you're a smarty pants and that you're caring about the right stuff and trying to figure out how do I get that good stuff to happen, which is really where the magic's at. So what I always say is that dog training it's really a team sport, and your team is the owners, right? And so you and the owners are a team. Of course the dog is as well, but really thinking of you and the owners as a team. And if your team isn't pulling their weight, you're going to struggle. I'm really having a hard time.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, I know you're doing work with that. I got focus issues, guys. So I'm like, what is she doing? Is she doing something fun over here? I'll check it out. So so your team is so important that if you don't have them on board, you're going to struggle. So even if you train the dogs really, really well, the dog's doing great with you, and you send them home, and you're not able to get the owners to do all the questions that you just asked about, then you'll struggle, which I know that's why you're asking, but it's such an important thing for anybody who's watching this that's a trainer or a wannabe trainer. It's the missing link between success and not success, and why a lot of dog trainers get angry with their clients because of lack of follow-through and this and that. So I really find that falls on the trainers for taking clients that aren't prepared to be committed, and then trainers not doing a good enough job of motivating their clients. So it's really kind of both things. So for us, we don't take clients unless they're really, really motivated, really committed, and really excited to train their dogs. So there's we're pretty intense about that. So like, I don't have advertising on my car. I don't have advertising in a lot of places, because a lot of times I find that just people that are like walking down the street and they're like, oh, there's a dog trainer driving by. It's like, yeah, Foofy, she pees on the couch every 6 months or something like that. Those people tend not to be as committed. Not that you couldn't find committed folks, but they tend not to be as committed. So what we look for are people that are really hungry for success, people that are really, that's why we do mostly behavior mod stuff, people that are, to be honest, in a lot of pain, that are struggling with their dogs and really have had enough time of struggling and pain where they're like, I'm ready to do the work. So people that are in pain like that, just like us, with anything else in life, are really motivated to do the work to get out of the pain. So that's a piece of it. Laura does a really good job of talking to people and making sure that they're ready to do their work, and that they're as excited as we are about training their dog and doing the homework. I think you're really clear about what you want to share with them, like what some of the stuff is. Because I'm just rambling here, but share with him.
A lot of the stuff that we do is by doing stuff like this video, and by Sean doing blog posts and all this stuff. We put all that stuff on our website, and the only way that people, get through is they go through our website. So they've seen all that stuff, so they kind of know what we're looking for. And even on our contact form, before they even talk to us, it says, are you aware of these things? Our FAQ, which talks about changes in personality in relationship with, And I have basic questions that I ask on the phone just to get a better idea of who we're dealing with. But one of those questions is most important for me to get a gauge, and typically it's answered itself just by talking to the person, because you can tell how much they're into it. But the question is always, that there's going to be changes to living with your dog, and your guys are willing and ready. Everyone in the house is willing and ready to make some changes. And
you actually ask, like, is everyone in the house? I've heard you ask this a million times.
Yeah.
Is everyone in the house on board? Is everyone, not just the wife is into it, but is the husband?
Everyone who's in charge of the dog, is everyone willing to make the changes? Because if not, it's not going to work. And I actually do say that. So, and then there's people that do come in that maybe their spouse or kids or whoever in the house isn't necessarily going to be totally on board, but they're like, hey, we're aware of the limitations of what could go down by us not all being on board, but I still want to do the same way. So in that case...
And you tell them not to waste their money.
Yeah,
If they're not, it's going to waste your money and waste your time.
Yeah,
and,
but we do a really good job of showing why those things. I think just saying, like, okay, no affection, no, you can't do this anymore, you can't have the dog on the couch. If you don't show why, they're going to be like, why? Just to be a mean dog trainer? Or, I don't want to live with my dog like that. But if we show why there's relationship issues, and why that could be a mixed message, and changing the structure and rules, they're happy to do it.
Right. So I try and be I really feel like that's a big part of my job, is when I'm talking to them in here and I'm giving them. I also say, I tell everyone the same thing, that I give no one absolutes. No, I don't tell anybody this is how you have to do it.
Yeah.
It's absolutely up to you. I'm going to tell you what I think you should do and why I think you should do it, and then I'm going to let you do whatever you want to do, because I'm not going to twist anybody's arm.
Yeah.
So that's a big part. I don't want people to feel pressured about it. But I feel it's really important that I explain to everybody what is the like Laura was saying, the why, right? What's the why behind the dog not being on the couch? So if you just say dog trainer rules are your dog can't be on the couch, and your dog can't sleep in bed, and your dog's got to wait at the thresholds, and your dog needs to heel, and your dog needs to do an hour and a half of duration work every day, and that's it, those are just the rules, there's no emotional why for the owner to be invested in. They've got rules from you, but none of that makes any sense. So your job, Artem, is to say, okay, so when your dog pulls through the threshold, you're actually setting him up to be more excited on the walk. So if your goal is to get a better walk right now, you're talking to your client, then if you allow him to pull through that threshold, then you're actually taking that state of mind out there, and you're missing a leverage point to try and get him into a better gear before you go out there. You tell him doing an hour and a half of duration work is really profound as far as being like meditation for dogs, and teaches them to be desensitized to the things going on in their environment, so they don't live on edge being stressed out dogs all the time. Sharing reasons about how the dog will be happier, how they'll be more successful, are big components of motivating the owner. So we say, my dogs are allowed on the couch, my dogs are allowed on the bed, so I'm not telling you you can't do that. I'm saying that if your dog is biting, you've got serious issues, then that's going to be a problem for you if you're trying with the goals that you're trying to achieve. If you're trying to get your dog to not bite you, or trying to get your dog to not be a resource guard, or trying to get your dog to be more confident, or any of those things, I'm going to explain to them the why of being on the couch, or being in their personal space, or sleeping with them in bed, what that's going to do to counter the results they're looking for. And then they go, oh, well, I want the results. I don't want, I want my dog on the couch, but I really want the results. So your job is to paint a clear enough picture about why they need to do, why the couch is important. You can't just give them rules. Yeah. So I give them I'll explain very clearly about duration work, about place command. I'll explain very clearly about threshold. I'll explain very clearly about why the dog needs to heel. So a lot of people feel like their dog feels really good out walking, in front and doing their thing. And I'll let them know, and most of those dogs have got reactivity issues, and I say, well, you might think your dog is happy, but your dog is really stressed out. Your dog doesn't have any direction. So your dog's barking at people and barking at dogs and doing all this frantic behavior. It's not a comfortable dog. So being able to share words like that, like stressed, or stress, or not, uncomfortable, helps people understand the why of, okay, so if I put my dog into a heel and I give my dog a lot of direction and I give them a lot of information and the dog feels very connected to me emotionally, then my dog's more comfortable on the walk, and then my dog actually enjoys the walk more, and my dog doesn't bark and lunge at people or dogs, so then I get the pleasure of that part, right? So then you really tie it all together of the benefits. So the owner gets the benefit of the good dog that doesn't pull him around everywhere, doesn't get embarrassed by him lunging or pulling and all that stuff. But your dog gets the benefit of being relaxed and calm and feeling good in its own skin. So when you can tie those things together, the motivation for the human, but they're both motivations for the human. But what the human gets out of it and what the dog gets out of it, and then tie those together for the owner, it can be pretty good leverage for them to feel. And it's not about manipulation. It's about painting a clear picture so they are motivated to get the results that they want to get. So it's a lot of detail that I just threw at you, but hopefully you get the gist of it, that it happens through our website because we share exactly what tools we use. We share our prices. We share, videos of clients working so they see what it all looks like, so they know before they even contact us. Then Laura gets on the phone and explains to them that, yes, we're going to do all the heavy lifting for you in the board and train or in the in-home session, but when the dog goes home, that's like a continued board and train. She always says that's when the work really starts, which is a good phrase to have, because if somebody balks at that, then they're probably not right for you, right? But if they go, oh, I get it, that's when the homework starts. You're not going to just appliance fix my dog for me. I really got to do all this work. Then you really have some good stuff going if they're on board with that.
Okay, question number 3. Katie Myers says, what are some good focus exercises to do with a dog who doesn't always focus on you? We used to be great at it, but lost it along the way. If she's in a hold for food or at the door, she will most always stare at me waiting for a command of release. But if a distraction comes, like on a walk, and I put her in a sit, she may not always focus on me right away, and I just wait for her to look at me until we can move again.
So, was it Katie?
Yeah.
So, Katie, it depends, I don't, it's an interesting question because I don't ask, I don't do any focus exercises. I don't do watch me, look at me, look, any of that stuff. I don't ask for any eye contact. But I get it. A lot of people will respond on photographs like, how do you guys get that eye contact stuff with dogs? And it's not anything that we focus on. I mean, we never talk about it.
No, but just correcting behavior and getting the dog to kind of tune in, just not through any verbal or anything, gets the dog to look up.
Yeah. So giving valuable information, I think, is a big part of it, right? So I don't talk to the dog excessively. I hardly ever talk to the dog, whether I'm on a walk or whatever. I just when I'm giving a command. And if the dog doesn't give me the response that I'm looking for, then if the dog's already been trained to what that behavior is, and there's a consequence for that. And that consequence tends to cause the dog to focus on me looking for more information or direction about what's going to happen. So if I ask a dog to sit and the dog doesn't sit, then I don't ask for it again. There's a consequence. There's a correction. If the dog's on the e-collar or on the prong collar, boom, the dog goes, oh, wow, I really need to be paying attention here because I wasn't paying attention. Now there's a consequence. So I think, to kind of put it in a nutshell, I think slowly, fairly training, and then also adding consequences that are valuable for the dog once you've done that, are kind of the magic key in getting focus and getting eye contact, because then the dog's looking to you for information rather than just kind of tuned out and in its own world. So if you don't share consequences that are valuable to the dog will be on autopilot, and that's when you'll see a lot of distraction stuff, right? Why not be distracted? If you're the dog and there's no consequences for being distracted, why not? I mean, I would. So we're asking the dog to do something a little different, get out of their comfort zone and be focused and attentive to us, but we're not saying it through watch me. We're just saying it like heel. And when I stop for a sit, you better sit down. I don't even have to tell you to sit. It's an auto sit. If you don't, you get a correction. And so I think that accountability is a big part of it, Katie. I think that too many people are, and I'm not hard on dogs. I'm kind of a softie, but I think too many people are too soft in the accountability department, and then what they end up with are dogs that are just kind of like having other priorities, which are like looking out, checking things out, and doing stuff like that. So hopefully that makes sense.
It does.
Well, awesome.
Okay, question number 4. Melanie Scannell. We've heard from her before. Yeah. Hope you guys had a great holiday.
We did.
Thanks.
So did Turcules.
So did Turcules.
Turcules.
All right. My question today is about choosing between various e-collar models.
Yeah.
I'm considering replacing my Dogtra IQ that a previous trainer paired with us, even though it's used with small to medium dogs.
Yeah.
I have a 2-year-old, 90-pound male rescue lab, and I am a petite female. Will the mini educator be powerful enough for him, or should I select a different IQ model? Or a different e-collar model? After a year with the IQ, he now works mostly at 20 to 40 correction level, but he can still go up to 60 and 80 when on a structured walk. However, if he ever becomes highly adrenalized by his surroundings, example in full chase mode after prey, when on off-leash in a large field, I can try to recall at 100 max on an IQ and he doesn't notice.
Oh, man.
This situation would
Tough
really
dude.
only ever occur maybe 1% or less of the time, but if I'm purchasing a new e-collar, I want to make sure it's one that'll work for us long term, and even in an emergency off-leash situation.
Yeah. Okay. So, Melanie, you got yourself a toughie, huh? You got yourself one of those tough guys. Did she say a lab?
Yeah. Lab mix, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because, a lot of people think of these labs as just being, these happy, bouncy dogs. We find labs to be some of the toughest customers out there. All these people think that pitties are the tough guys. You know, they're not. Like, some of these labs are so tough. Like, even the prong collar, like, the pressure, they don't care about it. E-collars are like, I'm made to jump in, like, freezing water and jump through thorny bushes and, and be unstoppable. So, it's I'm not surprised that you've got that going on. So trying to think. I guess I would the options would be a Boss by e-collar technologies, right? So Boss is also cool. It's black and it's a little shade bigger than this, and the receiver is a shade bigger as well, right? So it's got a little more high end on it. It's a really nice e-collar, and it's
go with that. Don't you think?
Wow, you just shut
I'm
me
just
right
saying.
down. Like,
no,
just
I mean,
cut to the chase.
Go with that. Yeah.
Just like, so I was just gonna say. So it depends on what kind of person she is. If she likes the shape of this, because some folks have an awkward time. I'm gonna turn this off because it's like the light is going on right there. But some folks have a hard time, especially females with small hands have a hard time, and the Boss is a shade bigger. So if you have small hands, Boss may be challenging for you to work one-handed. You could definitely work it two-handed and twist like that. If you're down with that, it's designed to be able to do one hand, but options are yours. There's also the 1900 by Dogtra. The 1900 is their high-end collar. It's got a bigger receiver box that goes around the dog's neck, so that's a shade bigger. You got a big lab, so it's probably not a problem. Both of these are probably comparable as far as high end that you've got, ceiling of stem level. There's also the 2300, which you just were messing with. You didn't like the transmitter very much on it, but it's it's a high powered one with a slightly smaller receiver.
Yeah.
So basically, just to narrow it down, I would go with either e-collar technologies, the Boss, or the Dogtra 1900. And either one of those should be great. If you could get your hands around it, I'd go with the Boss. I like it more. I think it's built better. Their customer service is light years ahead of Dogtra.
Way ahead.
Really nice guys. Greg Van Kuren is just the bomb, and the guy who runs eCollar Technologies. And like I said, you could always two-hand it if you needed to to two-hand it. So that'd be my suggestion. Yeah. Would you agree?
I agree. I have a Dogtra myself, and I really, really like Dogtra. I like the way that the remote is. But like I said, I got a 2300, and it seems like I was not pleased with the way that it looked. It looked like cheaper materials, and customer service wasn't good. And it's unfortunate because I'm Dogtra's like cheerleader along with eCollar. I like them all, but it's I think eCollar Technologies is where it's at right now.
Yeah, great, awesome.
Okay, question number 5. It's Lindsay Ray Fontaine.
What?
Hi again.
Hi, Lindsay.
She says, so this dog I have is great on walks, runs, and cars.
Great on walks, runs, and cars.
Wait.
Okay, maybe in cars.
Walks, runs, or in cars, yeah. Only if we're moving. If I want to stop and crack open my 22-ounce beer in the park, he puts me on spotlight.
Lindsay.
By barking at me or passerbyers. I'm not homeless, but I'm starting to think that if I was, my dog would behave as well as he does inside.
Lindsay, is your dog trying to intervene here? Does he see a cry for help? What's going on here?
What things should I work on to shape him up for outdoor leisure activities? Cheers. I have only a prong collar that's working great with everything else. No e-collar.
Okay.
So only if she's in motion is she having good stuff.
So basically when the dog's distracted and
when she
kind
stops
of in motion,
and distracted, yeah.
So
yeah.
But when she stops, so and what was the action?
He'll bark at her or passerbys.
Maybe he needs a beer of his own. He's like, right. Hey man, don't leave me hanging here. For me, I would just correct that stuff. I'd be really firm, and I know that sounds simple, and you might have already tried it, but if my dog is barking at me at any point, we got a big problem. That's a snotty, not cool behavior. So if I'm out anywhere, whether I've got a beer in my hand or I'm helping a little old lady across the street, it doesn't matter. If my dog's barking, being pushy like that, I'm gonna definitely correct and get rid of that. That is a very unsavory behavior. Yeah. It just speaks to other things, as Laura would say. So I would, make sure if that starts to happen, stay calm, stay cool, don't yell. Make sure you put the prong collar all the way at the tip top of your dog's neck. It should be really snug so it's not falling down. And then I would correct 2 hands like this to the side. Nice firm pop. Side is more valuable for most dogs than like up or back or anything like that. Nice 2 hands. You're not trying to knock his block off, but you are trying to make a point that that's an unwanted behavior and it should be done. So, and then I would just say, as soon as he does it, no, grab the leash, bang. Yeah. Should be gone. Should be an easy one to get rid of, unless he's just like the toughest dude in the land, in which case then you have to send us another question and we'll try and problem solve that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it might be the same dog that she was dealing with before who, was not on e-collar. She just needed to correct. You may want to move to e-collar soon, Miss
awesome.
Ray Fontaine.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. Be easy for you because like with the e-collar, you can really like drink a beer with one hand and you really have a real hands-free kind of situation. So, it
you just
definitely
don't have
is conducive to that.
The cool thing, we love prong collars, but you just don't have to do any serious physical correction with the dog. That's why I love an e-collar for everyone. If my mom pushes the button, it's going to be the same as if The Rock pushes the button, So if your dog's, distracted and barking and things like that, then we need to correct that stuff. But maybe you don't want to be cranking on a prong. Yeah. So that's why we like the e-collar. You just tap, Yeah,
and just to kind of finish that thought, a lot of dogs, as much as we both, with big prong collar advocates, a lot of dogs will take a prong collar correction and be like,
whatever.
Whatevs.
Or amp up.
I don't care. Yeah, or get worse. And the e-collar tends to really move that in the other direction. So as far as a pressure source that de-escalates, it's it's really the best thing going. So if you continue to struggle with that, I would look into an e-collar, and you don't have to buy a real expensive one. This mini educator right here is what do they go for on Amazon? $180. $180. This is an awesome collar. You can use it on just about any dog, and you could use it as a coaster too, right? Anyways, so that would be my suggestion. Would be, if you've done the prong, if you've tried correcting, start easy, start there. And if that doesn't work, you got a tough dog and he's really being bratty, then I would seriously look at an e-collar and do our foundation work, do a little recall, get the dog conditioned to it. And after a few days, then you can actually correct for monkey business. I would probably teach him heel too, which we have a great video on as well. You could be off and running, really have this whole thing wired.
We probably wouldn't hear from you again.
That would be sad.
That would be the saddest part.
Yeah. So stick with the prong.
Stick with the prong.
Yeah.
Okay, question number 6. This is all we got.
Guys, this is an easy one for us because we only got 6 questions. So
nice editing job.
I'm feeling not as desired, but I'm feeling very happy about how long this is going to take. We're going to be out of here quick.
All right. So this last question is from Instagram. Her handle is Emalio, and her name is Sarah.
Emalio Estevez?
And she's from Los Angeles.
Okay.
She says, my dog is very fearful in some spots outside on the leash. He isn't aggressive, but he stops cold in the street, and I have to sometimes really pull him to walk. Oh, okay. I have been trying the treats positive reinforcement thing for 3 months to no avail. Any advice? I use an easy walk harness, which helps a bit, but would welcome any suggestions.
And you have a fancy name for those harnesses.
Easy pull harness.
Or easy not walk harness in this case.
Easy unwalk.
Yeah, easy unwalk, easy frozen dude. So I think that, what was her name again?
Her name is Sarah.
Sarah. So I think Sarah's response was to a post. This is from Instagram, Sarah. So it's like our first Instagram that's made it up.
Stops dead in the street or on the sidewalk and refuses to budge. It's hard enough to get him to walk, not to mention run or jog. Right.
So I think this was in response to, is it to the frozen dog?
Yeah, someone said you should watch the Frozen Dogs video.
Yeah. So anyways, okay. So this to me would be a fairly easy fix. I know you've been struggling with your dog for a while, but the easy walk harness is probably your biggest culprit in this scenario right now. So if you will get what kind of dog?
No.
So
she says it's a big dog.
Big dog.
It isn't 10 pounds and easily pullable.
Right. Oh, she said it was like 50 pounds, right?
Yeah.
50-pound rock. So here's my suggestion. Dump the Easy Walk because it's really a big pain in the rear. It's designed like marketing wise to make you feel good about your dog, but it really about the tool on your dog, but really empowers your dog to kind of do what it wants. It might inhibit a tiny bit of pulling, but it's really going to keep your dog disconnected from you. And if your dog is really nervous about walking, it's not going to help, because what's going to happen is his fear. Let me see if I can give you a little thing. His fear will be like this, and the Easy Walk harness will have this much motivation, which means all your dog will listen to is this. So I would get the prong collar. I would get a 3.0 Herm Springer. You can get those from Pawmark.com?
Pawmark or 1-800-PetSupplies.com.
Yeah, so Pawmark.com or 1-800-PetSupplies.com. Look for, don't just go to Petco and get a generic, if you can. I'd really love for you not to, just because they don't work as well. But get a medium, which is 3.0, is the actual size, 3.0 millimeter Herm Springer prong collar. And watch my prong collar video. All you have to do is go to my website, www.thegooddog.net, and go to our instructional videos, and you'll see the prong collar videos we have on there, and they'll show you exactly how to fit it. But the real brief quick thing is that the prong collar is meant to be snug and hopefully stay up high on your dog's neck if you're lucky enough to have a dog that has the right size neck. But it's not meant to be put over your dog's head like that. It's meant that you take the links out and actually size the diameter exactly to your dog's neck, and it should be snug. It's not made to fit like regular collars. So it should be right up here where the sensitive part of the neck is, so you don't have to use a lot of pressure with the dog. Now once you have that, then you can do some nice mild introduction. You can watch like I think I have another video on there about Lola, introducing her to the prong collar, and you can see some stuff like that where I use some gentle leash pressure to get her started. But basically, like with the frozen dog, I know that you responded that the frozen dog was small and that you've got a big one, but it doesn't matter. It's still get the right tool on there and then say, we're going to walk. Let's go. And just use pressure and just start moving. And your dog will probably give you a hard time. He'll probably give you a whole bunch of resistance and a whole bunch of monkey business, and he might make sounds that you haven't heard before. But what'll happen is within a few minutes or even seconds, he'll just start moving. And then you'll go 20 feet, and then he'll throw a tantrum. No, I don't want to do this. And your job is to stay calm and cool. Tantrum done? Great. And off we go again. And just show your dog that we're going to keep moving. And for some people, it can seem unsavory, it can seem uncomfortable to insist that your dog's going to walk, especially if it's coming from fear. But you've already tried food. You've already tried to motivate him with food. And you've seen that food is not a big enough motivator. His fear's up here, food's down here. Easy walk harness is down here, fear's up here. So what we want to do is use the prong collar and enough pressure to where we override this and actually motivate your dog to go. And so just like with the frozen dog with Bert gave me plenty of like shenanigans, like I don't want to go, and I just kept going. And now he walks like a dream. But we were stubborn enough and insistent enough to just say, we're just going to keep doing this until this is not a problem. And I know you're scared, but I can't talk you through it, Bert. I can't tell you not to worry about the sidewalk. All I can do is say, let's go experience it, and you'll find out for yourself that it's not a bad thing. So that would be my suggestion. 3.0 medium Herm Springer. Watch our videos on the website to get the good fit. Go out there, be really relaxed, and just decide like, hey, we're going to make this happen today. And, if anybody hassles you, like, what are you doing to your dog? Just say, my dog's, he's a drama queen. We're going for a walk. But that's what I would do. And it doesn't sound, it's not like a pretty, it's not like a fancy highfalutin. It's just a simple thing of, we're going to go do this, and I'm going to use the right tools, and I've seen it a million times, and it'll unlock your dog, and you'll go. So if you're prepared to do that, you can make that happen. If you are uncomfortable with the prong collar or something like that, then it'll probably be hard for you to make happen. So the whole reason that I have so many posts that talk about the limits of positive reinforcement is specifically for what you're talking about, because people like you come see us all the time after they've done easy walk harnesses and food and trying to lure the dog and this and that, and struggle. What happens is dogs just stay stuck. So, I just encourage you through experience to go the different route and unlock your dog so he can stop being fearful and start enjoying life a little bit. Yeah. Good? How'd they do?
Cool. You did great.
Did okay? Great. You did great too. Nice work. You were more quiet this time. Well, you've had some where you've been on fire and just like shut me down.
You were on fire today, so I just let you burn.
Was I just like a smoldering ember?
You're like a smoldering ember. I was just like watching from afar with like a proud look on my face.
Oh, was it proud?
Oh, so proud.
Okay, that's good. It's good to know. Uh-oh. Talk about a proud look on his face.
Now show his teeth.
Okay, let's see him.
He's getting them taken out. Oh, Hercules.
Hey, bud. Herc doesn't have these guys. I don't know if you can see. So many. Yeah, he doesn't have so many. He broke them off somewhere in his travels. Anyways, guys, Sean the Good Dog, Mr. Hercules, Handsome Devil, Laura Morgan. Glad you guys had a good Thanksgiving, and hopefully you will see you guys with some more questions next time, so we can jump in. We're gonna
try to fix this turnaround time too. We're gonna try to get more quick, like Tuesday out.
Yeah, so we've had some problems logistically and technically getting this out to you. Not that we haven't tried, not for lack of trying, but I'm telling you, we've had so many wacky problems go on. So we shot it today. Today's Friday. Hi there. We shot it. Today's Friday. If Laura does good work, maybe we could have it out Saturday.
It's possible.
Could we turn it around and have the questions go up Saturday and the answers from last week? There won't be the question. It won't be the answers from. But that's our goal. So maybe why don't you guys put the pressure on Laura Morgan to make that happen, and then we'll see if we can get that out tomorrow.
If you'd stop at this, I could go do this. All right, guys. Thank you.
All right, guys. Take care. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.